I remember the sky over Long Island, endless blue, the smell of oil and hot engines. Danny and I were kids who grew up together, swapping jokes and daring each other to push harder in the cockpit. Flying isn't just a job, it's the way I breathe. Step by step I trained, I took risks, I chased one thing, the next perfect flight. Danny was my mirror, same grin, same hunger, and when we both volunteered for the RAF before the US entered the war, it felt like an adventure that cemented us. That's where everything started. Two friends, one promise to watch each other's backs. The hospital and Evelyn, a life diverted. Then Evelyn, quiet, steady, the kind of person who kept you honest. I met her through routine, through chance, a hospital visit, a cigarette shared in the dark, a moment that still plays slow in my head. She grounded me. Loving her felt sudden and inevitable. I wanted a life beyond the sky, a real future, and when the chance came to come home to the US, I saw a different dream. Marriage, peace, something solid. But war has a way of changing plans overnight. Duty calls and a painful choice. Duty pulled at me again. I volunteered to fly missions that would make a difference, and I lied to Evelyn to protect her. I told her I'd stay safe, while I kept signing up for more. The tension between the life I wanted and the life I'd chosen as a pilot built quietly, like thunder on the horizon. Danny and I argued, we laughed, we promised each other we'd return, and I thought those promises were iron. Romance becomes a triangle, friendship strained. Back home, things got complicated. Danny and Evelyn grew close while I was away, not because of betrayal, but through shared grief and the yawning distance my choices created. Returning home, I felt the shift first as a small, painful silence. The three of us formed a fragile orbit. Love, loyalty, jealousy. It's easy to tell yourself you're fine when you're not. I did that until the fault line showed. The surprise. December morning, Pearl Harbor attack. December 7th started like any other morning. Hangars creaking, the deck awake with sailors and planes. Then the sky changed. Everything moved faster than a heartbeat. Alarms, sirens, smoke, screams. I remember the shock. Machines diving from the sun. Explosions tearing the calm apart. The attack was chaos concentrated. It took men, ships, and certainty in the space of minutes. As a pilot, I felt both helpless and furious, trained to fight, yet stunned by the scale and surprise. My step-by-step decision in those moments was simple. Survive, help others, get airborne if I could. The images of burning water and men trapped on deck are burned into me. Aftermath, loss, guilt, and resolve. When the smoke cleared, the harbor was a cemetery of steel. Friends were gone, ships ruined, and the world had pivoted. Guilt and grief arrived like a second wound, for those I couldn't save, for the promises I'd made. The love triangle felt trivial next to the scale of loss, but it also forced me to look inward. I blamed myself for leaving and for surviving. Those feelings turned into resolve. If this was war, I would give everything to retaliate, to honor the dead by fighting. Training, planning, and personal sacrifice. We trained harder than before. Every flight was measured, every takeoff a chance to tip the balance. The mission planning was meticulous, dangerous by design. I wrestled with what duty required versus what my heart wanted. The step-by-step of becoming a wartime pilot meant long nights, careful briefings, and the creeping acceptance that some of us wouldn't come back. That acceptance hardened me, not into something cruel, but into someone who knew the price, the mission and its cost, coming full circle. When the mission finally came, it was the culmination of everything. Skill, anger, love, and the knowledge that no single flight would fix everything. In the air, I thought of Danny, of Evelyn, of the guys who never had an next morning. The mission itself is a blur of precision and terror. Formation flying, flak, decisions made in a breath. Whether the operation succeeded or failed felt secondary to the fact that we flew because we had to. The cost was real. Friends were lost, relationships irrevocably changed, and the war became the center of our lives. Reflection and aftermath, what remains? Looking back as Rafe, the step-by-step isn't just about planes and battles. It's about choices, to love, to leave, to fight. The attack took so much, but it also revealed what matters. Loyalty, courage, and the small human acts that survive when everything falls apart. I learned that being a hero doesn't erase mistakes. It only makes you try to live with them, to make the next choice count. The sky still calls me, but now I carry the harbor in my chest, a reminder of what we lost and why we went on.